I actually had no idea that they were going to do the Sports Illustrated. They just called me up one day and said they were Sports Illustrated. I thought he was playing on the phone. I gave the phone my that they were Sports Illustrated and they wanted to do a story on me. And they came up to the school, did the whole 9 yards, photo shoot and stuff. And he told me, he was like, this little magazine is going to change your life. He was like, are you sure you want to do this? Because nobody knew what I was going through. Like, nobody knew.
Welcome to episode 26 of the Powerful One podcast. Today I am joined by Isaiah Lamb. Guys, Isaiah and I went to high school together at Delaney High School. Isaiah grew up in Baltimore, Maryland, where he graduated from Delaney High School. Isaiah also played Division I basketball for Marist College, where he graduated with a marketing major and a communications minor. He had a really tough upbringing and was actually homeless for certain periods of time. And in 2014 in high school, they actually did a story for Sports Illustrated on Isaiah for homeless athletes. And it was very cool because they ended up doing another one in 2020 and kind of showed where he is now and all of his successes. And so after graduating from Marist College and playing 4 years of Division I basketball, Isaiah went on to pursue his dreams of playing professional basketball. For the 2019-2020 season, Isaiah started his professional career in Armenia, playing for the Aragats in a top division, League A and Eurasian League. Isaiah is also a certified personal trainer, to where he works with tons of dedicated clients, getting them their fitness goals and their health nutrition goals. And in 2019, Isaiah started his own business. He started in his college dorm room called the LoLambCo. His inspiration starting the LoLambCo was due to his love for fitness and lack of workout equipment. So Isaiah started by selling these core sliders, which now he does everything from core sliders, workout plans, awesome apparel. So a really amazing entrepreneur and a really amazing story. So in this episode, me and Isaiah talk about everything from his early childhood and upbringing, going to Delaney, playing basketball, wanting to play basketball in college. We talk about his major injuries that he had, suffering 2 ACL injuries, and still being able to achieve his dream of playing Division I basketball. We talk a little bit about his professional basketball career so far in Armenia. We talk about personal training and the workouts he does himself. The dude is a beast, puts himself through grueling workouts. And we talk a lot about his company. He shares a lot of value on what he learned in his really amazing journey in life. So it's an awesome episode, guys. I'm really excited to share this with you. I want to thank Isaiah again for being a part of the Powerful One podcast. Here it is, guys, episode 26 with Isaiah Lamb.
All right, guys, we are here with Isaiah Lamb, Powerful One podcast. What's up, bro?
What's good, bro?
We were just talking a little bit off air, but man, it's been so long. And I was telling him he came up on my Discover. We weren't even like following each other on Instagram. He came up on my Discover, and I was just like spent like an hour just looking at everything you had going on. And I was like, dude, like his story, man, is so cool, and everything he's doing now is freaking awesome. I was like, man, our listeners and everybody would love to just hear a little bit more about you. So, yeah, man. So where are you living at right now? Are you living in Baltimore?
Right now, I am in Baltimore. Yeah, right down the street from Morgan State. So I'm in the area for sure.
Good, man. So yeah, let's start kind of like back a little bit before high school, and then when we met in high school and that sort of thing. You have an incredible journey, man, and just so much cool stuff, so much adversity, and just an awesome journey. So I'll just kind of let you take it away, man, and kind of start maybe like a little bit before high school, and we can kind of transition into high school, how we met and that sort of thing, man. The floor is yours.
Okay. Well, I grew up in the Baltimore area, and growing up, long story short, it was tough. I dealt with some homelessness early stages of life, and I started out far as high school at Calvert Hall College. I thought I had it all figured out. I was going to go to Calvert Hall 4 years. Then I realized that paying for high school, just wasn't for me, and especially for my family. So I transferred to Franklin High School. Went there for a year. Played my rookie season of basketball there. Had a great year to start. I actually tried to play football. I was a pretty good football player, but I ended up tearing my ACL, which messed me up a little bit as far as basketball. I missed my sophomore season. Actually transferred to Delaney. That's when I actually met Tommy and a bunch of other great people at Delaney. And yeah, had a great season there. Met a lot of people, people that I still talk to this day. And senior year, I was playing really great basketball. I had 20 plus Division One offers, and I tore my ACL for a second time. And this is also while I'm going through, some family issues and going through homelessness. And that was probably the lowest point of my life at the time, just due to the circumstances and having this big injury
Yeah.
and possibly losing the possibility of going to college. But I was thankful enough to have two scholarships on the table, and that was Morgan State and Marist College. I chose to go to Marist College, and I had 4 great years at Marist College. Don't take it back at all. Met a lot of people. It was a small private Catholic school up in Poughkeepsie, New York, and I had 4 players on my team that's from out the country: Australia, Denmark, Iceland, I think another place, Sweden. Yep. So a lot of people across the world. So I'm thankful for my experiences. I think everything happens for a reason. So I wouldn't take anything back. And while I was at school, I started my own company called LoLambCo. It was inspired due to my injuries because I learned at a young age that basketball can be taken away from you just like that. And a lot of athletes don't think about that, especially when you're young, because you think you're going to the NBA or right out of high school. So, I started my own company, and it was basically about getting fit with minimal equipment or little to no equipment, because I never had a membership growing up, and I always, got my work in the house or at the park. And so I wanted to be basically the face of the household name of home workout equipment.
Yeah.
So I started out with core sliders and resistant bands. I had classes at my school to build awareness, and I was just trying to build upon that. And it's funny because now, COVID came along.
I know.
Now everybody like, what are we going to do? And I'm just basically like, yeah, this is the way I've been doing this for a long time. And I don't know, COVID actually kind of helped me out a little bit, helped me get out.
Seems like it, yeah.
For a little bit. So that was a little boost. And I still think that's the way, even when COVID's not around. I think things are never going to be the same now. People are always going to be cautious about, germs or just being around other people. And that's fine. So if you want to work out, you can work out at home with some low lamp equipment, things like that. And I guess the next step after creating a business, I was, continue expanding, and I had my rookie season last season in Armenia. Great year, averaged 20 points, 10 rebounds, 5 assists. So I had a really great season, and now up to date pretty much. I'm personal training, certified personal trainer, as well as still running LoLam and possibly going back overseas. As of now, I don't know yet due to COVID, but it's a really good chance of me going back.
Dude, I love that, man. Yeah, it's so cool, like just hearing, that journey, man, and where you're at now, and there's a ton of stuff you have going on right now that I want to get into more, but I want to touch back real quick. So like, just talking about high school, dealing with those 2 injuries, man. I remember when your second ACL injury happened, I was like, we were always friends and stuff. We weren't too close. We just didn't have classes and we didn't play the same sports. But I just remember when that happened, I was like, man, I felt so bad. I was like, is he going to still be able to play ball and stuff like that? And so, just talk to me a little bit through like your mindset of getting injured and like in high school and stuff like that. Because I assume when you were younger, you always wanted to, was it always your aspiration to play college ball?
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely. It was like no other choice. It was like that was a dream, play basketball, to get to the next level. Everybody always thought of March Madness and being at the college level and playing at the highest level. So that was always been a dream. And during that time, I felt like it was all taken away from me. So like that was kind of like my down point. I never was big with mental health, but now looking back at it, that was a time where I was definitely going through a little bit of depression or just hard times, feeling down myself of like, why is this happening? Like, why is all this stuff happening? And this was like my chance. The one thing I'm good at, and I can't even play now for a good 8 to 9 months due to this. So it was definitely tough, but you know, having having my parents there and my brothers, close friends, they kept me up. So it was all right.
Yeah, man, I feel like that's such a hard thing, and people don't really think about. There's a little bit still of a stigma around athletes and mental health and stuff, and people don't realize, like, someone like you've been training your whole life to get in a better position for yourself, to put your family in a better position. Like, basketball is like what you know, it's what you've been doing, it's like your dream, and so your whole life is like focused around basketball. And what people don't realize is, like, if that gets taken away from you, that's like everything you know, then you can get in a really dark time. And I know a lot of athletes one of my best friends who plays professional baseball, it's like, that stuff is very real. And so, like, what ways were you able to like kind of bounce back from that and recover? Because, obviously it seems like such a hard situation. It sounds like you had a good support system and stuff like that. Was that part of the process for just being able to like rebound from that and be like, all right, I still have this goal. I still want to play in college and everything like that?
Definitely. My parents, in particular my mother, she always used to say that nothing lasts forever. So that goes both ways. So if you're struggling, it ain't gonna last forever. And if you're on top, it ain't gonna last forever either. So you gotta keep grinding when you're on top, and when you're on the bottom, keep grinding because you're gonna get there. Yeah. So that's kind of how I always went with things. And when I got injured, I was hurt, I was, depressed, but it ain't gonna last forever. Like, I'm gonna get better. They kept saying I was young, so I was gonna heal fast, which I did for the most part. I ended up starting half the season my freshman year, which was really fast, and so that was an accomplishment for me because people wanted me to redshirt. I just had too much pride. I just wanted to play.
Yeah.
So I ended up playing. But looking back, maybe I should have redshirted, but it was all right though. But yeah, the support system with me is huge. It's mostly my family. So my parents, it's me and my parents.
I love that, man. So then, like, talk me through, like, so what was the college experience like for you? Because obviously playing at Marist, you're playing Division I basketball, so you did achieve, your childhood dream. Like you said, you always wanted to play basketball, March Madness. You guys did make the tournament one year while you were there, right?
While I was there, no. But we played a lot of big schools. We played Duke.
Yeah.
We played West Virginia. We played, who else? We played UCF with Taco Fall. So I played against a lot of NBA players. So that was a good experience. But at Marist, Marist was so different. Like, Marist was just like, it felt like another world to me when I went there. For one, it was real cold. I never been to upstate New York, so I had to get used to that. And two, it's a small private school, like I was saying. So I met people that were really wealthy. Like, I'm talking like really wealthy. I met my first billionaire there.
Damn.
I think, I will meet one in person, but he's real cool. His parents are billionaires. His parents actually own 2 FIFA professional teams. So
no way.
He's from Indonesia, and he's the coolest laid-back guy I ever known. Like, he's just real chill. You wouldn't think, his parents are billionaires, but they are. And it was really, really eye-opening because the things that I value, they don't really value as much. And like, it's just different. So it's just 2 different lifestyles. Coming into college, I didn't have a laptop. I would use the school laptop, but it seemed like everybody had a Mac. It was just normal. It was like the norm. If you don't have a Mac, then I don't know. You don't even really have a laptop. That's just how it was at the school, and like little stuff like that. It was just different. So same thing with vehicles. I didn't have a car until after I graduated college, and people just had cars.
Yeah.
I would say little stuff like that was the difference. But other than that, it wasn't a huge difference. Just like really, really diverse school per se.
Right. Yeah, I
Uh,
guess I would imagine that's a lot different from Delaney and also just growing up in Baltimore and stuff, being at like a small, you said it's a Catholic school, right? Or a religious
Catholic.
school. Yeah. What was the best part about your basketball experience there? Because, 4 years at Marist, correct? What was like the best, what was the coolest part about the basketball experience? Because like you said, you guys were playing, a lot of top people, like a lot of top names, top schools. So what was like the coolest basketball experience for you there?
Probably that exactly. Playing the top schools, because we weren't allowed. Being a mid major, we're not allowed to play down. We only can play up in other mid majors. So we wouldn't play like a lower Division One. We only could play up. So that's why we played in the same.
Oh, okay.
And West Virginia, schools like that. That's by far the best part. Um, being able to say that, like, see these guys on TV that's playing in the league saying that, oh, yeah, I played them.
Yeah,
Jason Tatum was on the team at Duke when we played.
that's crazy.
Like, I saw him and played against him. How good these guys actually are. Like, it's ridiculous. One of the best players I ever played against would be Luke Kennard. He plays for the Pistons right now.
Huh?
He's not big name like Jason Tatum, but I think he's a really, really good player. And, I wouldn't have known that if I ain't playing at Duke.
Damn, man, that's some cool. Those are some cool experiences, man. So, like, when you were at Marist and when you were playing ball there, were you looking forward to what was after college and like what was your thought process while you were there, like your time at basketball at Marist and just at the school in general? I know you ended up you were a marketing major, so did you have any like goals for what you wanted to do after college, whether it was like play professionally, whether it was ended up starting your business? Did you have anything at the time where you were like, man, like once school's over, I'm gonna try to focus on this?
Well, I knew far as when I say sophomore year, that's when I figured out like maybe the NBA is tough to get into. I didn't count it out, but I knew that it was going to be tough just because of the level of play that I was playing in and how I felt physically. Like I had 2 ACL reconstructions.
Yeah.
That definitely played a toll on me and my game today. I'm still athletic. I can still play the game. But I think if I didn't have these injuries, it would probably be a different outcome. But so at that around sophomore year, I started to think like, all right, NBA is maybe not it.
Right.
In all of it, of all. So that's when I decided I wanted to be a business owner. I want to own my own business. I just want to be the boss. I don't want to work for somebody. I want to be someone that people can come to work for. You know what I mean? So that's kind of like how that came along, due to the injuries and thinking about life, basically.
So where did the fitness fall in? Because I think the only class that me and you had together in high school was our weightlifting class. Which, dude, personally, like I work out every day. I love it. Like I don't know if I don't grind as hard as you for it. I have other things that I grind a little harder with. But I was literally like I would never show up to that class. Like I hated working out. So like I know we were in the same class. So for you, when did that kind of switch? When did the fitness start to become a forefront? Is that something you were always into? Did you pick that up in college? So what was that like?
Definitely something that I picked up in college. And in high school, like I said, I did weight training, but it wasn't like I was like that was my favorite thing to do.
Right.
I would say I don't know, because when I got to college, I was naturally kind of at that point I wasn't really really skinny, because I was lifting, and people started to compliment me on my shape as a freshman, and I think that kind of got me going a little bit, far as this fitness stuff can be really good, or I'm actually starting to get stronger.
Yeah.
Then from freshman year in college, I started to really think about how to lift and what should I be doing, and calisthenics, as far as body powerlifting and stuff like that.
So did you know, like once you started to get into that stuff and then you knew you wanted to be your own boss, when did the connection, because you started LoLam in 2019, correct?
Yeah.
So when did those two kind of come to head and you're like, oh, I want something that I can kind of just talk me through the process of how LoLam started and kind of how those two met, how wanting to be your own boss and how the fitness passion kind of met in the middle right there.
Well, I found the product first
Oh, okay.
because I wanted to be my own boss and own a business, but I didn't know what to do. I like to work out. I mean, I worked out every day, and then I was actually, it's called Amazon FBA.
Okay.
Heard of it, but I wanted to be basically an Amazon seller. Amazon is full of individual people who sell a product. So Amazon isn't just one big store. It's a bunch of people like you and me.
Right.
So I was like, I'm going to be an Amazon seller. I came across these core sliders. I was like, hey, I really like these. And I bought them. I was using them for like a good few months. And I was like, I need to turn this into my own brand, because all I do is work out in my dorm. Like, we had an amazing gym, and I worked out in my dorm.
Damn.
Yeah. So I was like, this can actually be a thing. And I created a brand called LoLam, and just kind of went from there. And I decided that I wanted to be basically the face of home workout equipment.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my goal, is to be known as, instead of going to the gym, you can do a LoLam workout in your own home. Yeah.
Dude, I love it, man. So it, like, you were talking about in the beginning, it seemed like the quarantine and COVID almost worked out better for you because it made kind of a real thing that people are like, man, this is taken away from me. Like, how am I gonna, if you're super into fitness, you can't just like do nothing. Like, people like me and you, I'm sure you're the same way. If you don't like work out in a day or work out, a certain amount of times a week, you just like feel off. And so, a lot of these people probably had the same thing. And now that all of a sudden they have to make this transition to working out in home. So talk about how that's been for you ever since just the quarantine and stuff, and how that's been maybe like a cool thing for your business. Cause I think now you and someone like you and someone with your business model, it's kind of perfect for right now. And I don't think it's going to change. I don't think when stuff goes back to quote unquote normal that people are going to be just all of a sudden, oh, let's go back to the gym. I think more and more people are going to start working out at home. And so, just talk to me just a little bit about the process of the quarantine and how that's been for your business.
Quarantine's been great for my business.
Yeah.
For me as well, I offered doing free live classes on Instagram just to build my personal brand and build just the awareness of how to work out at home. Because even if people want to work out at home, they may not know what to do. They may not know what to use. And I am just showing them that firsthand through Instagram. It definitely helped my business. I would just say it brought light to it. People are starting to notice that you can do much more than you think you can with just your body weight. And it's not a walk in the park. Like a lot of people that are really strong bodybuilder type bodies have some trouble doing calisthenic work.
For sure.
Yeah, and I learned that when I was in school. When I had classes with my core sliders, a lot of the football players would come in, and they would be struggling. Like, yeah, because the lack of flexibility in your shoulders or just in your movement in general. If you're stronger, bulky, you may not be as flexible. If you are flexible, that's great. And that's some good stuff.
Yeah. So what about your workouts, man? You do all these crazy workouts. Like, how important to you is working out? Because I know you have the balance of working out yourself, the balance of the clients you train in your business. And so how important is the workout part, like in your life? And talk me through that, because your workouts are awesome. They're functional fitness, they're explosive, it's like athletic training. It's just a little bit of everything. So how important is working out to you, and just talk to people who maybe if they haven't seen you on Instagram, like, and your workouts, like kind of what a workout looks like for you?
For me, I know if you're a power lifter or someone who lifts a lot of weights, a lot of people work out, chest day, back day, lower body, upper body. My workouts consist of total body workout majority of the days. Maybe every once in a while, and I'll say I'm only going to do upper body,
Right.
but it's not really realistic in calisthenics, at least.
For sure.
The movements are total body, where you're using your core, your legs, your arms, everything, and that's kind of like how my workouts are. They could consist of a combination of moves to make one move. A lot of say it, negative movements. So if you're lifting weights, you maybe try to pump real quick.
For
When
sure.
calisthenics, you have to make the most out of each movement. So you may go 3-second negative on the way down, explode up on the way up, and get off the ground, and just things like that. Just switching it up, just keeping your body off balance. You don't want your body to be used to the certain movements. And I'm sorry. Yeah.
Oh, you're good.
Yeah, your body is the same as any other body. Your body gets immune to certain movements and certain things, so you got to switch it up, basically. Yep.
Yeah, man, that's awesome. So as far as like playing professional basketball and being in Armenia and stuff, what was like, how cool was that experience, and what was some of the cool things about it and some of the harder things about that? And then, like you said, are you looking to go back? Are you looking to still play professional ball? And where are you at with that in your life? Because you've got so much awesome stuff going on, and I feel like that's another thing that I'm not sure where you're at with that. So I was just curious.
Armenia was an up and down experience. I'll say that. The toughest thing offhand is probably the language. Armenian was the first language, and Russian was the second language. And then English is probably a little further down the list. So basically, no one really spoke English besides the younger people that are like in high school because they're learning English in school. So even if someone did know English, they're most likely speaking in broken English.
Yeah.
Which is fine. My years there, I tried doing some personal training there, but the language barrier was a problem. But I did have like 2 clients, so I call it a win for me.
Yes.
Yeah, it was good. I was really into the community. I ran like camps at the outside park. They said that like they liked me off of just being a basketball player. For one, being a black guy there, a lot of them never even seen African American people there. Period.
Yeah. Yeah.
There and being a pro athlete, that just helped. And by me understanding that in my first year there, I kind of like that. I like the people I like the fact that they are interested in me just off of curiosity. They know how I am, how I talk, what I look like. So every time I would go to the basketball court, I would put on Instagram, hey, I'll be at the basketball court this time. And kids started to come and start to ask me, when am I coming? Then I would say, hey, let's meet up at this time. We're going to have a shooting competition, 3-on-3s, and I would hand out LoLam stickers.
Damn.
And they all for these stickers. Like, I'm talking like they're just regular stickers. Like, they just look like, just like this, like a LoLam sticker.
Right.
They would do, like, contests. Like, they would be diving on the floor. And I thought it was so great. Like,
oh, man.
Kids in America probably wouldn't do so much for a sticker, but I just think like it's different cultures. They don't need so much to excite them and have fun, and I like that because that's kind of like how I grew up.
For sure, man.
In the park and not really worried about, I don't know, I guess video games, more so about just playing in the moment.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I love that, man. That's such a cool thing. Like how important is that stuff to you? Is like being an inspiration? Because I think you're an inspiration not only to me, but I would imagine to tons and tons of people, whether it was people who maybe grew up a similar way than you, maybe it's just people who've been watching what you've been doing over your life and just seeing that. So how important is that for you, like to be somebody, somewhat of an inspiration and a motivator for maybe like younger people or just people in general?
I mean, it's important, but uh, I'm not really striving to be an inspiration. I would say I'm just striving to be the best me. Um, I mean, I'm thankful and I'm proud to be an inspiration to people. I would love to be, a mentor to someone and be. I would love to have that financial freedom where I feel like I can really help people that was in similar situations as me.
Yeah.
But in order for me to do that comfortably, I would have to get myself straight first, and secure. But yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to being able to give back. I actually give back now. A percentage of each payment of LoLam goes to the Maryland Food Bank
Yeah.
and goes to it's called Backpack Weekenders. I'm sorry, and it's basically just it's a nonprofit helping out the homeless kids in Baltimore City, and I think they are the closest to me. I lived in the Baltimore area. I was homeless as a kid, and I just want to be that person to say, "Hey, I did it. I've been through it. Now I'm trying. I want to help." So
Yeah.
you can
Yeah.
even better than I am. So just a small percentage right now goes to both of them nonprofits, and I think that's just my little way of helping until I can make an even bigger impact.
I love that, man. What I actually love most about that is the fact that you are focused on yourself first, because I think that's something that a lot of people lack is like they're trying to live for other people or they're doing stuff to please other people. It really does seem like you are like you're following your passions, you're doing stuff for you, you're working and you're focusing on yourself, so that way you can do that more down the line. And I love that. And I think it's great that you do give back. I think that's incredible. So as far as just like you know when we were in high school, you were on the cover of Sports Illustrated, and then they actually did a 2021 where you were on the cover again. So talk about like that experience, if you don't mind, and just like from then in high school, I guess it was, what was it, 2000, was it 14 or 15?
It was 14, yeah.
14 to 2020, and just kind of like the Sports Illustrated journey, but also just that journey for you, if you don't mind.
Yeah, I actually had no idea that they were going to do the Sports Illustrated. They just called me up one day, said they were Sports Illustrated. I thought he was playing on the phone. I gave the phone
Yeah.
that they were Sports Illustrated and they wanted to do a story on me. Um, and they came up to the school, did the whole 9 yards photo shoot and stuff. And he told me, he was like, "This little magazine is going to change your life." He's like, "Are you sure you want to do this?" Because nobody knew what I was going through. Like,
Mm,
nobody knew. Like, not even my closest of my closest friends knew. They had
yeah.
an idea that maybe he going through some hard times, but they didn't know that for a few years I didn't have a place to stay.
Yeah.
And now, the cover comes out. It was mixed reviews. People liked it, and wanted to help and stuff. And a lot of people actually at Delaney, they thought I was just lying. Like they thought I made the whole thing up
Damn.
because I had some expensive Jordans on in the picture. And he was like, "Well, how is he homeless if he got these Jordans on?" And the Jordans weren't even mine. They were Jake Sousa's. I don't know if you remember.
Of course, of course.
The shoe guy. I was like, "Hey, my man, I need some shoes to rock. I got this photo shoot." I didn't tell him what the photo shoot was, but he looked out. Let me rock some shoes, and people, they just see the photos and think, the worst, I guess.
For sure.
Yeah, Jake's a cool close friend of mine. Either he didn't know what I was going through either. Um, but yeah, that was a good experience. It followed me all the way through to this day. Even in college, I had people come up to me after the games, ask me to sign it. I
Damn.
signed hundreds of copies that people send to my house, and I send it back. They just people who collect Sports Illustrated
Yeah.
issues. And then I'm still close to um, John to this day. John Wortham is the guy who done the article, and I hit him up and I was just telling him what I'm doing nowadays, um, just casual conversation, and he said, "Hey, I think we want to do another issue."
Damn.
And I was like, "All right, you sure you want to do it now?" I think I've done a lot, but I don't think I would like to do it if in the perfect world, I would like to do it when I'm very successful, I guess millionaire or whatever you want to call it. But yeah, he said he wanted to do it again, so we did it again, and he mentioned the LoLam, so that helped a lot, big
Yeah.
time. And yeah, that's how that went.
Well, dude, I don't doubt there'll be a third one, man, because I know you just from watching, and I know that everything you've came from to where you are now, and I know that you're just going to keep elevating and growing, and so I think that there wouldn't be out of the question that there'd be a third one down the line, man.
Yeah, I hope so. So stand by. It might be one day.
For sure, man, for sure. So talk about like what you got going on right now. Like, what is your personal training, you train yourself, you have your company, your business, everything. So just talk about like what is life for you now, and what are you looking forward to in the future as far as all that stuff goes?
Right now, still training. Playing basketball, LoLam. I eventually want to be training online,
Mm-hmm.
in-person personal training. Limits you. There's a cap on how many people you can train
For
per
sure.
day, and I don't like that. So I don't like having caps and not being able to make a certain amount or do a certain much. So I want to be able to do it virtually. I can train people in Armenia. In
Yeah.
these I'm playing basketball, and while being anywhere in the world. So that's the ultimate goal. Having that platform where I can have thousands, hundreds of clients, and as well as implementing my LoLam into my program. And I don't know, just a lot of other stuff I have in mind that I want to get into. In due time. We still young, so we got
Sure.
time.
For
Do it.
sure, man. No, that's the beauty of it, bro. Is we're still so young, man, and I truly do think it's amazing everything you're doing, man, and like and what you're building for yourself and for other people, like giving them these tools to be able to work out and be healthy and stuff like that. So I do think that's remarkable. Okay, so I guess I always like to do one thing. I think you've had so much cool life experience, and so toward the end of the podcast, what I like to do is, for the listeners, we have a lot of people listening that are kind of like that 18 to 23, so similar age to us, and a lot of people I think are struggling to maybe find like their purpose or their passion. And so just off of pure life advice and just from a personal standpoint, if you could give the listeners just one like core piece of advice that you've learned in your life or something that's very important or true to you, what would that be?
I guess for all the listeners out there, if you want to follow me on Instagram at FitLikeLamb, business is at LoLam. And if you have anything personal that you want to talk about or have struggle with, you can always DM me. I answer all my DMs. And just know that nothing lasts forever, for one. So that's something that I stuck by for a long time, and it took me a long way. So if you are going through something, just know that it's not going to be forever. However, you have to help make that change. You just can't wish for it. You have to do it. And basically, just don't take things for granted.
Yeah.
You can have something one day, and then it can be gone the next. And it don't have to be something material. It can be, the sports you play. If you're healthy now, injured one day is all gone. Then what? You gotta have plan A, plan B, and just keep your head up.
Yeah.
That was one thing that I had when I was little, and I didn't really notice until now. Like when I'm older, many people didn't know what I was going through because I always kept my head up. I was always, joking, normal. But you ain't know that when I was going home, I wasn't really going home. You know, I was going to somebody else's house, maybe a hotel, maybe the car. But at the moment, you thinking, you know, I'm cool. And I think that's how it's supposed to be. That will help you feel better in the inside for yourself. Instead of being down all the time, you know, enjoy the moment that you're in. And yeah, that's all I got, basically.
That's great advice, man. I think that's awesome. And like you said, like you're always such a positive, outgoing person. And so like no one would have known. And you just, you know, you kind of just made the best, it seems like, of every situation. So dude, man, I appreciate you. And again, people can check you out on Instagram. So it's Fit Like Lamb, and then it's LoLambCo.com.
Oh, LoLambCo Instagram. LoLambCo is my ad for Instagram for LoLamb, and LoLamb.com is the domain for the website.
Well, guys, go check out Isaiah. Go check out his company. I ordered my stuff. It's probably be here in like 10 minutes when I go check. So I'm fucking pumped, man. But again, bro, I appreciate you making the time, and this means a lot. So thank you again, brother.
All right, no problem. Thank you, bro.
You did it. You made it to the end of the episode. Thank you guys so much for listening or watching the podcast. Be sure to go like it, subscribe, share, all that stuff that you're supposed to say at the end of the podcast. Thank you guys again, and stay tuned every Thursday, powerful1.com/podcast, or on the Instagram page at powerful0ne powerful1. Thank you guys again. And again, last thing, if you guys are interested in being on the podcast, hit me up. If you got a cool story and feel like you really fit the mold for Powerful One, hit me up. We'll get you on the podcast. Thank you guys. Stay safe.